Some soldiers of the Nigerian army have lamented over poor welfare under Bauchi State-sponsored Operation Flush Out and requested for a payment allowance for them to be able to feed their family. According to them, the situation is the reason why some soldiers are involved in criminal activities. Nigerian soldiers attached to the 33 Artillery Brigade in Bauchi State have called for the removal of their commander, accusing him of starving troops executing Operation Flush Out in the state. The soldier, who spoke to Sahara reporters on Thursday on condition of anonymity over fear of victimization, said they had been spending all their salaries in feeding, which they said was at invariance with the operational standard of the Nigerian army operations. They further stated that the salary that they pay them is very poor and cannot take care of them and their family. The soldiers therefore called for the immediate intervention of the Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to address the issue of poor treatment of soldiers sacrificing their lives dearly. According to them, the situation is the reason why some soldiers are involved in criminal activities. One of the affected soldiers said, "The commander of 33 Artillery Brigade in Bauchi State have been paying 15,000 naira as operation allowance to soldiers that are in Operation Flush in the state for many years. There is no feeding, just the 15,000 naira as a monthly allowance, which is not supposed to be so. There is nowhere in the Nigerian army today where they pay soldiers 15,000 naira with no feeding except in Bauchi State. As of now, the Nigerian Army Rotation Cash Allowance (ROCA) is 1,200 naira daily and monthly is 36,000 naira. Soldiers' normal operations allowance is 45,000 naira, which is supposed to be paid to the soldiers' bank account. So if the authorities are not feeding you, they have to pay the soldiers their RCA, which is 36,000 naira plus the normal allowances of 45,000 naira together to make up 81,000 naira. But here in Operation Flush, which is handled by the 33 Artillery Brigade Commander in Bauchi State, they are paying soldiers 15,000 naira and not providing food for them. Another soldier lamented that the situation is worse because the 15,000 naira they complain about is not even paid on time. As of now, they still owe us September allowance and it will be paid when we are in November, and by then they will owe us for the month of October. That is how it has been done for many years here, the source said. Lamenting their helplessness, the source said Nigerian army will take soldiers to Operation Flush in Bauchi State, and the soldiers will use their salaries to feed themselves for almost 3 months before they will be paid 1 month allowance and owe 2 months despite the current cost of living. A soldier will be taken for an operation and he will feed himself, which is not done anywhere in the Nigerian army. It is only in Operation Flush in Bauchi State that you will find such a treatment. We have been part of many operations in the Nigerian army, and if they owe operation allowance, they will make sure you are being fed no matter how bad the food may be. Identifying the poor welfare of soldiers as one of the reasons behind soldiers' involvement in criminal activities, one of the sources said, "How can you have a soldier as part of an operation without feeding them and expect them to give you the best? Our generals don't care about their soldiers' welfare, which characterize the endemic corruption in the army today. It is too much." We therefore call on the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Governor of Bauchi State, His Excellency Bala Abdulkadir Mohammed, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Babin Musa, and the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarud Lagbaja, to remove the 33 Artillery Brigade Commander and constitute an investigation panel to probe his corrupt activities. When Sahara reporters sought the reaction of the Nigerian Army authorities through the Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, he described Operation Flush as a private arrangement sponsored by the Bauchi State government. Brigadier General Nwachukwu, in his response to Sahara reporters' inquiry, stated that Operation Flush was a private arrangement of the Bauchi State government, adding that feeding allowance under the arrangement is 500 naira daily per head, which amount to 15,000 naira a month. He said, "Let me first establish the fact that the welfare of troops tops the agenda of the current leadership of the Nigerian Army, and so far, all allowances and monthly salaries have been paid as and when due. The allowance for Operation Flush Out in Bauchi State is 500 naira daily, amounting to 15,000 naira monthly per head. It is paid by the state government because it is a state-sponsored internal security operation, and the information reaching me is that the allowance have been paid. I must emphasize that Operation Flush Out is state-sponsored. The troops in Bauchi used to be part of the defunct Operation Lafia Dole, but are no longer under the current Operation Hadinkai, responsible for the counter-terrorism, counter-insurgency operations in the northeast. The Bauchi troops, therefore, are not entitled to allowances paid to troops of Operation Hadinkai," the spokesman of the Nigerian Army concluded.